when it comes to comedy, and this is something that I'm really curious about hearing from you. I personally, as a consumer of comedians and their subject matter, believe that it's as long as like what is intended behind a joke is truly not hate, that I'm like, it's fucking fair game.
No.
What do you think?
No. Because sometimes you accidentally will say something that in retrospect is hateful, but you don't want to edit yourself in the moment. I think what I've been doing lately in the last couple of years is editing a lot while I'm doing it. So I can't say this. Like I've wanted to say so many things since I've been here that I used to say that I can't say because of these new social parameters.
But that's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not talking about social parameters. I'm talking about we're on the playground at the monkey bars, motherfucker. I had the ball first. You know, like those real rules, not this fucking 2023 bullshit. I'm talking about as a comedian, don't you feel that fucking anybody, everybody, no matter what color, sex, this, that, is fucking fair game in a joke?
Yes. But still in this new climate, it's not true within the new generation of kids.
Yeah, but you think it's bullshit,
up.
Right? I think it's bullshit, personally.
I think it ruins it. And I think that
I think if somebody's mother passes away of cancer.
Exactly.
And no, literally, even if
fuck her.
No. even if a comedian's mother, father, family member passes away, and then they make a joke about that to cope and to heal. And
I've heard comics talk about another comic's dead mother that died the day before and having one to have sex with her corpse. I mean, it's like, for me, it's like, is that, to me, anything goes in my mind. You know what I mean? Some of it's like, it doesn't play well in a room and it bombs, but I'm under the philosophy that you're allowed to say anything. Actions are one thing, obviously, but it's like, in terms of words, I don't know. I just feel, especially if we're talking about comedians here, in a way, it's like, I mean, if it's hateful, like if you see the N word and there's no, there's no comedy at all, or you can't even, and it's pure hate. Yeah, that's one thing.
But who is even excelling that's like that? You know what I mean? Nobody's going to excel.
Although there was a guy, I can't say his name, but there was a man who, he's like a legend. And he's this old guy. He's been around forever. I can't say his name. But I remember one time he was on stage and Martin Lawrence's bodyguard, who happens to be black, right, was heckling him. And then he said, this old white man said the N-word and jumped off stage, right, and started choking the bodyguard. And there was like chaos.
Yeah, but that's not a bit. That's a real thing.
I know, but still, we were all laughing. So my point is that, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Like, to watch it unfold was crazy.
You're a comedian.
So even in that context, right? To me, it's like, that was entertaining. I love that. No one got hurt. Somebody could have, but it was crazy. And to me, it's like...
Was he really trying to choke the guy?
It was crazy.
No, was it real or was it a bit?
No, I don't know. I think it was real. But then they made up. Everything was fine. And I don't know why, but everyone was laughing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it worked in a comedy club. This also happened in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So in the 90s, I used to see things on stage that were like, to me, now, you just couldn't say, do... at all.
Do you feel that hinders your creative mind?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But, also, my parents didn't like my music that I listened to, right? And, the younger generation, they just have their own rules and and I get it. And since I still want to have a career, I've acclimated to it.
I mean, you say some wild shit though.
I have, but you know, I've acclimated. So I watch what I say, and I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've wondered about that because I don't know. It's just a really weird thing where like people have given me shit for saying nigga.
Whoa,
Yeah.
heavy.
I know.
But you're half black.
Exactly.
You can
and
say
it's,
it.
I know, but it's like respectfully.
Is it
like,
because you don't look it?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody in my family's black and da-da-da.
No, I believe you.
So it's a funny thing that like, but especially like in hip hop, it's just like people would be so angry. And it's like, if comedically, it's almost like, oh, you know, someone can change their entire identity and pronouns and this and that and da-da-da. And I'm racially this thing, but people are like, no, you're not. Like, it's just it's a funny thing.
Well, Asians are mad at me because I allow my white friends to do Asian accents. You know what I mean? Like, do one right now.
Hello.
See? Now, there are Asians out there like, how could Bobby allow Logic to do haro? They're out there. You know what I mean? To me, it's fine because I know where your heart is. It's in play. I could rip you apart as well. I can rip everyone here apart.
Of course you can.
And it's fair game, you know, but
especially when you talk about your friends, I mean, I'm sure it's like we're also talking about comedians. We're talking about a creative space, you know? Like if I was just like at a Chinese restaurant and was like, hello, that would be like the most
that's insane. It's insane.
Ridiculous.
But I know friends that do that. I'm okay with it.
What? No, you're telling me that you know random people.
I know white guys that are comics.
Oh, see, there you go. That's different,
but I've
though.
walked into
It's different.
an Asian environment and them go haro out loud and have the whole restaurant go, what the fuck? But they did it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. No, not these people aren't going to go into an Asian restaurant completely alone and just do this.
But I know guys that do that as well.
Well, they're fucking idiots.
I know, but still.
But that's what I mean.
But it's like, but now we're going back to like, listen, I just want to say this, okay? And this is my opinion. And I don't.
Yeah, whatever, man.
This is my opinion.
Fuck this 2023 explanation.
But I have to because I still want to have a career. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing.
Okay? I hate that we have to live in fear.
We do. I live in fear,
and not in fear of like being transphobic or homophobic or racist. So no. Just living in fear of you're a motherfucking entertainer, and if you're going to say something, it's a joke. It's your job. That's what you do. And the fact that
here's what I want to say.
It's like explaining the joke before you tell the punchline. All right, what are we doing? Let's go.
I already know it.
All right, come on.
I lived it.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, okay? Mm-hmm. That for me, there was all these microaggressions toward me racially, toward white people growing up.
From you?
No, from white. I grew up in a generally a white environment.
Of course.
And I'm much older than everyone else, so I witnessed racism in a different way, okay? And I was bullied, and I was just all these things happened. You know what I mean? Alongside with growing up with in my parents' house, there was a lot of trauma and a lot of things. And just for me, everything that has happened to me up until this point had to happen, and I'm glad it happened. It strengthened me. It made me a warrior. It made me resilient. It made me be brave enough to try stand up back in an environment where even in the mid 90s, it was like, there was not a lot of guys that looked like me. Me and Joe Coy, I met Joe Coy when Joe Coy had hair and he was a kid and he had glasses and he didn't look like what he looks like now, a megastar or whatever. But it's like, I knew Joe when we were both broke and we were the only ones, and it was hard. But I welcome it, and I'm glad, right? Bullying is not right. It's not. Stop it. But for me in my life, it was imperative. I had to go through everything that I went through. Being molested and all these things,
I've
right?
been there.
Right? Were all things that make me who I am. And yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, but see, those are the things, right? So you're literally talking about experiencing racism, sexual abuse, all these things that, in a way, I mean, truly, your art, your material helps you actually deal with. I personally feel that the greatest comedians like truly take from the darkest, most fucked up shit. Because, you know, I think a lot of, if you go to a comedy club, everybody wants to forget, right? You know, they're coming there to laugh and not think about how they just left a house that has an eviction notice on the front door or this, that, and the third. But if you had a comic come up and talk about eviction, and make that person laugh at it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's what it's about. So for you to use your past trauma, so how in the fuck could you tell a joke about, doesn't matter, man or woman, whatever, being sexually assaulted, right? And turn it into something that's, it's racy, it's wild, but it's fucking funny and it's true and it's your truth.
Yeah.
But then somebody in the crowd could be like, that happened to me, you piece of shit.
But that's the problem. I mean, that happens now at comedy clubs where people will stand up and go, I disagree, or how can you make fun of that and this and that? It's like, it's insane. But, you know, and also like, you know, Jerry Seinfeld is a legend and he's great. I don't relate to him at all. I don't know anything about him through his act. But when I look at a guy like Tim Dillon, I feel a visceral thing when I see a guy like him perform, because it's like, I just relate to it. And you know what I mean? And his angst and his, the way he presents himself.
But that's what makes it great. And that's why it's kind of sad, because I almost feel like you as a comedian now can't fully express yourself. And we're not talking about...
we can, and I do. But you know, and I think some of it...
I mean, has some of the fun been taken out of it because of the current state of just where we are?
Well, no, we have editing. You know, like, you know, not here, but when I do Bad Friends with Andrew or Tiger Belly, 20% of it is edited out. So, you know, I speak freely when we're doing it. I just don't put it out into the universe. So I can still do my thing.
Do you believe that what you're editing out was too far?
No.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
I mean, I look at, you know, sometimes my producer, Andreas, and I'll go, why? He goes, you can't. I go, why? And I fight for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he wins. Because I just don't know.
He's also your producer for a reason. You trust him.
I trust him. And I honestly, I don't know. Whoa. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I say things, I go, how is that bad? And it is. And maybe it's a frailty on my part. Sometimes I think, what's wrong with you that you think that that's okay?
Yeah, but also, you know, there was a time when people really thought segregation was cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, as we progress.
What?
Yeah, fucking white people in America was like, oh, that's very normal.
Yeah, people change. Yeah. And
so what I'm saying is,
you're
like,
right. You're right. I'm changing.
Some things are, I think,
I'm changing.
I think as we progress, there are perhaps some things that had been said or were talked about with such ease that I don't necessarily think that should be thrown around.
But you know, you adapt. Like, you know, to me, it's like the whole trans thing was something I didn't think about, right? But when I hear somebody's point of view about it, I go, okay, I've never really looked at it that way. And it changes your opinion and stuff. So it's like, you know, I never really had an opinion about Israel, Palestine. It's probably it's fucked up to even talk about right now. But you know, and now I'm learning a lot about it, and I'm doing research, and you just kind of learn, you grow, and you figure it out.